Hi everyone, my name is Essen and you're listening to the Brown History Podcast. A big episode today. Our guest is actor Manoj Bajpayee. He's one of today's greatest living actors. His films include Satya, Gangs of Wasseypur, and Aligarh. His latest film is the critically acclaimed Gulmohar. It just came out. You can watch it on Disney Plus Hotstar if you're in India, or on Hulu if you're in North America. It's a great episode. We discuss life and death and everything in between. So stick around and let's begin. I'm joking.
Uh, what's the time there in Canada?
It's 1:35 a.m.
In Toronto?
in Toronto. Yeah, very cold, snowing.
Oh, yes.
What time is it
Yes.
there?
It's 11:05.
Okay, I think I'm intruding because I heard that you have a very strict morning routine.
Oh no, it's all done.
Yeah?
I get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I have a long routine which I have to finish, including my prayer and everything.
So what time do you usually wake up at?
5:30.
5:30. So you pray, you meditate, exercise.
5:30, I do my spiritual exercises that last for 50 minutes. Then meditation for another 15, 20 minutes. Sometime it goes on, if I really lucky. Then I have my medicine. And after that, I immediately go for brisk walk.
Wow.
My exercises, my freehand exercises, the crunches, the physiotherapy exercises, all of that, and come back, have a cup of coffee with my wife, and then go for shower, then go for half an hour prayer.
You do this, you've been doing this like every day from day one, or this is like a new thing?
No, it's been like this. It's been like this. But sometime I get to party and get to sleep late. That is the time I'm cursing myself when I'm unable to get up in the morning.
You live a very quiet and private life. I don't see any photos of you at big parties. I have a 4-month-old baby now, so from one father to another father. I wanted to know how you manage raising children as a famous personality in India.
It's a very tough task for an actor like me who's been constantly busy. My wife, Shabana, she's always been a hands-on mother, and she was also an actress. She still is, but she decided not to take any help from any maid. So she's done it all on her own. Yes, whenever I've been in Bombay, I've always tried to be hands-on, but
No maids, no servants.
No servants in this house. If I take you for a round, there is no servant here.
Wow.
Yes, yes. There is a guy who comes in the evening to do wiping and cleaning, and then he finishes
no
work.
nannies.
No nannies, nothing. I mean, no nanny is something my wife has always been very against, and there's no cook. So we are very strict about what we eat. Sometimes we cheat also, but it's completely on us. We are very very conscious
Disciplined.
of very disciplined that way. We don't eat in the evening, so the kitchen is shut in the evening. So whenever my daughter is back from the boarding for the weekend, and that is the only time kitchen is operational in the evening.
Wow. I heard that you also have a spiritual guru.
Oh, yes, we have. We are not allowed to talk about him.
Oh.
He hates publicity. Yeah.
All right. Can I ask what role does a spiritual guru play in your life and how that changed you?
Oh, I can go on talking about it, Hassan. First and foremost, he completely changed my perception that my purpose in this life is acting. I always felt this is what I'm born for, and this is what I should do with complete sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where he came in, and he explained how the materialistic ambitions or materialistic goals are not the purpose of your life. The purpose of your life is to cut short the cycle of death and life. And how you cut short it? You cut short it by doing spiritual exercises. You try to shorten the cycle as quickly as possible as a human being, because a human being is everything that he has is only distracting him from breaking the cycle, and the soul inside you is actually caged. He is completely caged in this body. Once this soul goes away, you don't even take the name of the person. You start saying that the body has started moving from the hospital. Now it is being carried. The body is being carried from the hospital
Mm-hmm.
to the and it's coming home. The body is at home. So anybody who wants to who wants to go and pray for the soul, you should go to this address. The body is lying there. Now body is going to the graveyard. So the body has reached the graveyard. Do you stop taking the name? The moment soul is gone, there is no existence, no importance of this body. It doesn't even carry its name. So this is
Mm-hmm.
what he kind of explained it to all of us. He keeps explaining to correct our uh, life and be disciplined about spiritual exercises, and be do meditation as much as possible. Whenever you're getting time in the day, just sit down, close your eyes. That's meditation. Don't make it a rocket science. Just sit down, close your eyes, concentrate on your breath. Breath is something that we don't concentrate upon. So when you are ordering food, yeah, and you say, I want to have Chinese.
Yeah.
So I want to have Chinese. So what Chinese do we want? Okay, there are 5 kinds of soup. There are 5 kinds of starters. There are 10 kinds of main course. And there are, 6, 7 kind of dessert. But, we take care of everything. Our body, external body. We take care of our organs. We keep eating those vitamins. We don't even in a day think about the breath, which you are getting for free.
I'm curious to know how you decided that you needed a spiritual growth, because when I look at your resume, you work. I think you've made 96 movies or more.
More,
And
yeah, I think so.
more.
I've never counted. Yeah.
I think in 1 year you had 6 movies come out, and 2 of which you were a producer. So, and if I were to try to find controversy or drama in your life, there's nothing. So
Yeah.
it seemed like you're a very, focused, dedicated, hardworking guy. So what was that trigger that made you want to focus on your spiritual side?
Okay, the seeking was always there since my childhood. I will tell you the 2 incidents. When I was a child, I was the second one among 6 children. My father was a farmer. My mother was a housewife. Mother was somebody who was, deciding and dictating. It was a complete matriarchal family that I come from. I always thought in my childhood that my parents are here forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Till there was a death in the family. My uncle passed away. And I saw
Sorry.
my father. Yeah, I mean, that was a long time back. I was still, 8, 9 years old. That was the first time. And I think also the last time it broke me. It broke my heart. It broke every concept of, life for me. And that was a time I realized that, my parents are not here for forever.
Yeah.
They will also die like my uncle. And the seeking started. Then I started asking myself since my childhood, if there is death, then why there is life? If I have to die eventually, then why I am born in the first place? The seeking started and it got intensified just when my aunt died after a couple of years. And after that, the seeking was there, but there was no answer coming from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I coming from any religion, nothing. It was all zero. I have been frequenting temples, going to all the temples, trying to find an answer, going to so many mazars and so many other temples of other faith. but the answers were never there. So just 5 years back, uh, I was mentioned about this Guruji by a friend of mine who's the disciple.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to mention my name, uh, to Guruji. He lives in some jungle in Odisha, that is one state here. And that is when, Guruji kind of found out himself through his own divine process that I was ready for all the answers, and I was ready for the spiritual exercises that he was going to, give it to me. I felt blessed because I never, just when I was not looking for an answer, just when I was really deep into my creative process, my artistic endeavor, he happened to, you know, start, messaging me and sending me all kind of, messages of how to approach my life and how to discipline myself and what to do uh, to correct my path. And
Mm-hmm.
then from then till now, me, my wife, even my child, we are initiated into the process called Kriya Yoga.
My parents are still alive, but they're very old. So I have the same. I have a fear of experiencing grief.
Right.
I read that you lost both your parents. I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
recently. I
Recently.
wanted to know how grief transformed you and how you dealt with grief.
So what does spiritual process or Kriya Yoga or any other process or meditation, they do to you? They are taking you towards detachment. So
Okay.
detachment is the cause of grief. Attachment is the
Attachment.
cause. Attachment is the cause of grief. Attachment is the cause of worry and suffering. So how do you detach yourself? When you detach, first and foremost, what is the benefit of detachment? I love my wife very much. You know, I love her. I love her, beyond words.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm detached with her, when I'm looking at her from a distance and not imposing myself on her, I see clearly what she likes and what she doesn't like. And my respect for her will keep growing further and further. When I'm completely, imposing myself on her in the name of love, I'm troubling her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making her suffer. I'm making myself suffer. So even a little bit of her movement, of her fingers movement, will either cause worry or either cause happiness. But happiness will only remain for some time. It will become the reason for worry. So when there is a fear of death, uh, that is when it is very, very important to get into meditation. Because meditation, it does, teach you to
To handle your
handle
emotions.
handle your emotions. It gets handled automatically. Uh, I'll tell I'll I'll tell you by example. I was shooting in Kerala,
Mm-hmm.
in a tea state, and it was raining, incessantly every day, and it was 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours of shoot every day. I was shooting for this series called Soup by one of the best directors, Abhishek Chaubey here, that is going to come on Netflix in few three months. And it was one of the toughest role of my career. I would say the toughest, and my back was gone. I was in a lot of pain. There was a physiotherapist who was working on me. My knee was giving me a lot of pain. I was dealing with that and dealing with 16 hours of shoot, doing the toughest role of my career. And my father was not well. He was hospitalized. So
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to my other brothers and I said, how do you think we should handle it? Because I am I am here shooting and I'm feeling guilty that I'm not there. I was talking to him talking to my brother, and he said, "Don't feel guilty. Whenever there is a break, you come here and you meet him, because what you can do, he's lying here in the hospital."
Yeah.
So I wrote a letter to my Guruji, and he said, "If you're feeling guilty, that is why you want to go, then you should go, because it will heal you. It will not heal your father.
Wow.
It will heal you. It will, it will give you a little bit of satisfaction that, yes, I was there for my father, but you can't do anything. And first and foremost, since you are into the spiritual exercise every day, doing meditation, you are detached. You are detached from your father. You are handling everything from this distance, and you know that others are there. You can't help him. You know this. So that's called detachment. So you have to be a good son and a very disciplined artist, both.
It sounds very, very difficult.
It's very difficult. And in not even a single moment, Asan, I have realized that, somewhere my spiritual process and meditation have really done a lot of good to me as a person. From a distance, I could appreciate my brothers and their effort. From a distance, I could connect with them 10 times in a day, and just to find out how it's going, talking to the doctor, managing everything from that distance, completely depending on my brothers to take care of other things. And whenever there was a break, like 2 days of break, I used to travel from south to north in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go there with my bad back, bad knee. I used to be there. Whenever he used to open his eyes, I used to talk to him, continuously talk to him. And he used to feel happy just looking at me. And then he used to close his eyes. It happened, I think, 3 times like this. And then again, once I was leaving Delhi and leaving him for my shoot, I said, "I'll come back to you. Don't worry. I'm going to my shoot and I'll come back." And I was telling him without any grief or emotion, nothing. I went back. I shot for 3 days, and I got up in the morning to go for my shoot. I was doing my spiritual exercise. And there was something in me telling me that the call is going to come, that he's no more.
Oh, man.
And that was the time. There was a ring at 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I told myself, I think he's gone, because nobody calls me at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was my brother's call. And he only said, "Okay, so you just pack and come. He's gone." I just remembered one day before, I was in my vanity van, caravan, you call it, they're on the shoot for the actors.
Trailer.
Yeah, trailer you call it. So I was in my van because there was someone else's shot was going on. And my youngest sister called up and she said, one day before, in the night, and early in the morning, he passed away. She said, "We want him to go away. He's suffering a lot. He's unconscious, but he's not leaving his body. Can you please, you were his favorite. Please tell him to go." And I was telling him to leave the body. Please leave the body.
Yeah.
You'll be out of your pain. You will be out of this pain. Why you are suffering so much? Why you are attached so much? Don't be attached. Now go on your journey. You have finished this journey beautifully. You've been a great husband. You've been a great father. You have given us everything. We love you. You've inspired us. And I was talking to him for 10 minutes, and my assistant in the other corner of the trailer was howling, crying, just listening to me talking to my father like that.
Yeah, I feel like crying right now.
Yes. So the memories make you, the memories of the person with you, because since the time you opened your eyes, you have seen only those two faces taking care of you.
Yeah.
Okay. And providing you and
Yeah.
that is why we feel so emotional. There's nothing bad in feeling emotional, but don't get devastated. Devastated means you are being selfish. You are being selfish about that, means you are not feeling happy about those memories. The
Yeah.
memories are causing that much of pain, that I would say that's selfish.
When he did pass away, how did you react? Was you
You know, when my brother spoke to me, I cried. I cried
Yeah,
for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I cried. After that, I didn't cry. I don't know. I just felt that, that he is out of the pain. His the moment soul. It is said that when the soul leaves the body, soul doesn't even look back. Soul goes on its soul is on transit. Okay, soul is on a transit from this body to another. It will wait for the right time, when he can when the soul can find the womb through which he will take birth and go through his own karmic sufferings,
without you, without
without
his
without this
sons, without the
body,
family. Yeah.
without this body, because that we don't have any memory.
Hmm.
But there are many instances where few of the souls they remember their past life for a very long time, and then suddenly slowly it goes away.
How did this spiritual journey that you're going through affect your acting and your thought process when you're trying to build a character in a story?
It is helping me. All the work that I have done in these 5 years are the testimony of my growth as an actor and as a human being. When you evolve as a human being, you evolve as an actor, because actor and human beings are like together.
Hmm.
They are one. Okay. So earlier I used to completely immerse myself without even thinking too much, just get into it, and not really trying to see those minute things about the characters. But now the character is here and I am here. So I'm looking at the character all the time
From
from
a
a distance,
distant. Yeah.
and I see that character very clearly. The method is the same, process is the same, but I'm more at a distance, a little bit of a distance from my character. So when I want to provide something to the character, I easily provide it. When I have if I see something minute can come in, I just give it to it. Okay, so I'm looking at it objectively. When I'm looking at it objectively and it's still getting into the skin of it,
Hmm.
I'm actually evolving as an actor, and that is a very difficult thing to do. That you are in the skin of the character and is still being you are still so objective about it. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. But if you manage to achieve that, I'm still working on it. I'm trying to master it. you know uh, but as I'm trying to master the craft of acting, I'm also trying uh, to correct myself and improve as a human being and evolve and grow as a human being, so that my actor is complemented.
Yes. Wow. So I read the script for Gulmohar a year
Yeah,
ago.
Gulmohar. Yeah.
Gulmohar. I
Yeah.
read the script a year ago, and
Oh.
I was like, "This is a great story." Who's Rahul? Who's gonna do the father role? And he said you, and I said that's perfect. But when I read the script and I watch the movie, there's so much that happens that's not written in the script, like the way your character's hand shakes.
Right.
He has gray hair, which
Right.
makes him look a little older, but not too old.
Not too old. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a very there's a violence. There's one scene that has a little violence in it, but
Right.
you had to show yourself as a passive character.
Right. Passive character. Yeah.
So like you have to kind of focus on these little details to make it a lot more life into it. So that must be very difficult to do from a distance, like you said, because these are very, very tiny little details that have so much impact and power.
Yes, these are all. I mean, I give all the credit to Guruji and for his teachings, and I keep thanking him for really putting me into this discipline. You're very right, because he's a very passive character. He's not somebody who's aggressive.
Yeah.
And when that slap happens, even then I had to make it feel that it is, the slap was not to the person, to the other person, but there was something else going on, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Eh, and there is a reaction in the film. You will see that my eyes are not aggressive at all. My eyes are lost completely. He's somewhere else. But slap, there's complete disconnection between the physical aspect of the character and the emotional aspect of the character. They're completely not in sync at that point of time.
I wanted to go back to your roots, and I wanted to know where the love of acting first came into your life. Because from my understanding is that you have no connections to the movie world. You
Not
have
at all.
no nothing. I wanted to know where the love of the acting came from, and I also wanted to know what gave you the courage to pursue it. Because statistically speaking, the odds are against you. For you to be an actor, to be a successful actor, like
Right.
it doesn't seem like it would go your way.
See, again, I was in fifth standard, and I was chosen by my teacher uh, to represent the class in the elocution contest. And I kept on wondering as to why he chose me, because I was a very shy and introverted kind of a child. But now I somehow feel that, just to help me to come out of my own, you know, uh, shell, he must have thought that, this is the best exercise that this child can be given, so that he can express himself. And that's how I was chosen. And I prepared myself. I worked very hard on the poem. I recited the poem on the stage, and the applause when I was coming down the stairs, everything I remember till now. As the applause, the feeling that was going on inside me when I was performing or reciting, I didn't want to leave. I somehow felt that, I got my expression. As a child, I felt this is where I felt that, I could express myself. This is where I felt much more comfortable. And that journey started there, and journey is still going on when I'm sitting right in front of you.
Hmm.
So that intensity, uh, that intense feeling inside me, it just got converted into, love for acting. And that has given me a lot of courage. uh, Mumbai is 1,500 kilometers or 1,600 kilometers from my village. It's very far.
Yeah.
It's far, not in kilometers. It's far because when the place that I come from, it was completely away from the modern civilization. I mean, there was no exposure, nothing. I was in a boarding school in the district town. It was a Catholic boarding, and it was Hindi medium, and that's all we could get, in the name of good education. And after that, my father could not afford to send me to Delhi, and I promised him that, uh, sooner I will do something so that I can really support myself. As and when possible, just send me whatever you can. And on
He
that
didn't want to
promise,
stop you. He didn't want to be
no,
like, don't go into acting, become a doctor, and go into
no, he
finance.
wanted me to be. His wish was that I become a doctor,
Right.
but I was completely distracted by the love for acting.
Wow.
And I went for medical entrance, and it didn't happen. Uh, I was not even ready. I I didn't want to be a doctor. I just only wanted to be an actor. So I told my father that I'm going to Delhi and I pursue history honors, and then I'll prepare for UPSC exams so that I can become a bureaucrat, something like that. So I lied to him, that time. I
Wow.
lied to him, but I I traveled with a friend of mine. He supported me quite a lot, and I got admission in Delhi University, one of the topmost, university in this country. Uh, And from the first day itself, I found a street theater group. I, immediately joined them. I started working with them. I was doing uh, dramas for my college, for Hindu college, which was next door. I was busy 16, 18 hours every day, learning, correcting my Hindi, learning English,
Mhm.
because my mother tongue was completely different. Okay.
Wow.
So working, I could not think of anything else. Once I was running 103, 2 or 3 fever. I was suffering from malaria. Uh, and I went to the rehearsal and I fainted. I fainted right when I reached the rehearsal. So they brought me back to the room, and they told my roommate not to let me get out, because this guy is mad. We are going to close the rehearsal till he gets all right, but he should not come to the rehearsal in this condition. So I was I have always been very intense in wanting to be a good
Attached.
actor.
Attached.
Yeah, attached, completely attached. Yeah.
How'd your parents feel when they started seeing you show up on movies and TV and started to see the success that you were achieving? They must have been like,
They've
wow.
been very happy. My father used to be very happy. When I got Padma Shri, that is fourth uh, biggest what you call civilian award,
Yeah.
in country. So when I was felicitated with the Padma Shri, I took my father, because my mother was hospitalized that time. She could not go. So my wife and my father, they accompanied me, and I could see it on his face when he saw the president coming into the hall, and all the ministers. His eyes were, like,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
What a
completely. I could
moment.
see, I could see his eyes so bright with happiness. Uh, and I'm so happy that I could give both of them that much of happiness with whatever God has given me in the name of success, the recognition, fame, a good lifestyle. But more than all of it, you know, I when I get out, people, there is no euphoric reaction. I'm not a star, a big star who can create euphoric reaction among people. But I'm very proud to state that, when I get out, I see love in people's eyes in the manner they approach me. I simply love that in their eyes.
Did you did you feel uncomfortable with the fame once you received it? Did you feel that a lot of people when they achieve fame, it changes them, it affects them negatively? Did it affect you in any way? And if it didn't, how did you manage to kind of keep a distance from you and the illusion of fame and celebrity?
I think genetically, I've never been an arrogant guy or egoist person.
Okay.
I that is never there in both my parents. And my father was a very mild guy, a gentleman to the core. Uh, my mother has been very, very straight and very strict about things that she believed in, and we just the way we were brought up. I think um, that we are. We always. I look at myself not differently from any other professional. Okay, so that is and that and there is I'm not saying it because I want to sound humble. No, I'm not trying to sound humble. This is the
Right.
way I am. For me, a rickshaw puller or a construction worker, all of them are doing their job, and I'm also doing the job that I want to do. So and I want to be good at it. I
Right.
want to be good at it all the time. uh, so this I think I'm more focused on the job, not on the outcome of it. Uh, uh, so the money comes as in, if I do a film, money will come.
Right.
Okay. If the money will come, I'll have a good house to live in. Okay. I'll have a fairly nice car, also comfortable car too. But am I focused on the car and the apartment? No, I don't think so. I we can easily stay in a two bedroom apartment or one bedroom apartment and still not worry about anything else. So we are that kind of a family. This is
Mm-hmm.
who we are. And we keep reminding ourselves that we are no different. Success can actually make you feel that it's you who's doing everything, and I don't feel that. I feel destiny has a bigger role to play. So let's be nice to each other.
Do you feel that destiny does? Do you feel that uh things happen for a reason, fate, that you're destined for something, and that this was like meant for you? Do you feel like there was a greater power behind your success?
Yes, I always feel that. All the time I feel the hand of an energy of the force. Uh, but also, I asked my guru. I wrote a letter to him, and he explained to me that this 75% is destiny, 25-30% is your free will. God has given you that free will to change uh, uh, certain things about you, the way you live, the way you operate, the way you
Mm-hmm.
work. So, and free will is also, how do you define free will? Is Free will is, if I am feeling a little arrogant when I see hundreds of people coming to me uh, and cheering me and shouting my name. um, I should feel the free will comes that you thank God, you thank God for that. I don't take the credit for this. Keep telling yourself, it's not me. It's not only me who should be given the credit. The credit should go to the Almighty, to my destiny, to all the people who have been supporting me. Mostly my wife, who could make it possible for me so that I could just go ahead and work. So yeah, you have to. This is all free will. I will I will not smoke. I'll not indulge myself into drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I lead my life in a very disciplined and spiritual way. Uh, so these are this is all part of free will. Uh, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You decide how you want to react to
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
How long have you been married for?
We were married in 2003 or four. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
20 something years. It's too late in the morning to do the math. I've been married for 2 years, right? So I wanted to know how what to expect in my marriage in 2 decades from now.
What to
And
expect?
what do I expect?
Uh-huh. No, but you are
What's
lucky.
it
You're
like?
lucky.
What's it like to be, in that situation?
There will be ups and downs. There will be, and you should be ready for that. But the ups and downs will not affect you if you. There are two things we should just remove. Try to remove. It's very difficult, but two things, if you remove from your life, it really helps, not only your marriage but your friendships, your relationship with your daughter. You have a daughter or a son?
Son.
Son. So your relationship with your son, the self uh, obsession, you know is the selfish. We are very selfish uh, when we are in a marriage, or we are in a friendship. We all the time thinking what it is giving me, without
Mm-hmm.
thinking what I am giving. Am I giving sufficient uh, to this relationship or not? Or the relationship with your wife, or your daughter or your son. In my case, my daughter. And I always feel that I'm falling short. I
Really?
always feel that.
There's
Yes, I
there's
always
guilt.
feel there is no guilt, but that feeling makes me do extra.
Okay.
Okay. So if that feeling is there, then you try to be more involved, uh, and more giving to the relationship. The ego and is something that has to, at the moment step inside your home, you have to just put it out uh, right at the door, and then you get into your room in your apartment. This is something which is very, very important. This I have learned
The hard way.
hard way. But yes, finally, but if the husband and wife relationship convert into friendship, uh, there's there's nothing more beautiful than that.
I also wanted to talk about Satya. In
Yes,
1998, you did this movie that really changed Indian cinema. And
right.
another actor, KK Menon, he quoted that your performance opened the doors for actors like him, that you paved the way, and that he's very thankful of you. How Satya changed your career, and I want to know what he means by actors like us. What kind of actor are you, and him, and Irfan Khan?
Unconventional. When Satya happened, the industry was either making, all formula films, or they were making romantic films. So in all of this, there was no place for actors who are coming from theater. Actors who didn't have conventional faces, actors who could not easily be categorized as villains or heroes. So we were making heroes and villains films those days, or making romantic films with a lot many, beautiful and hummable songs. So in that kind of a time, when actors like KK, Irfan, and me, who had big goal about themselves, big dream about themselves, they could not fit in.
Mhm.
Where to go? Which part you should uh, really apply for? So there was nothing. We were all going through that stage of of sticking to this city, but with no work. And if at all there was a role of a villain, we've done it with no passion. I mean, with no feeling. We were feeling insulted just by being on the set, and being one of the henchmen of the main villain is not a very complimentary thing to any
Right,
actor.
right.
And when you want to be part of a story, you want to be part of a great director's vision, that was very rare to find in this industry. And then Satya happened. Satya happened because of one man's belief in good cinema, and that was Ram Gopal Verma. He wanted things to change, and he was a very courageous guy, very brave person. And he took all of these newcomers. He didn't need to. All the
Mhm.
big stars were at his door, lobbying for roles and the films. Uh, but he didn't care about anyone. He took these new people with odd faces, okay, and he's gone ahead and made a film which completely changed the course of this industry, okay. And from that time till now, you see, this is Satya, which has really told the world that anyone can be a protagonist. Even a secondary role should be written so well that it can be celebrated.
Right.
Even a third role like Kallu Mama can be written so beautifully that he becomes a household name. Even a writer like Anurag Kashyap and Saurabh Shukla, they should be celebrated because they have written it. There was music of Sandeep Chauta. So what this film has sent out a message which was very loud and clear, and it has given so it has inspired so many other directors from outside to come to this city and tell their story.
Do unconventional actors have a hard time working with quote unquote conventional actors, star actors?
It is hard. It is hard because there is a hierarchy on the set that it existed then. I don't think it exists that much now, but yes, it's still there in some part.
Do
The
unconventional actors get
hierarchy,
paid less?
yes, definitely they are paid less.
That
That goes
sucks.
without saying. That goes without saying. The unconventional ones those days, asking for a little bit more money was an insult to the producer.
What about now? Is it still as tough for you maybe, or for actors like
It's
you?
still
And
tough. No,
it's
no,
still
it's still
tough.
tough. It's still tough. but it's better than before, I would say. I must, you know, confess that, it's better than before, but it's still tough. It's still
Right.
tough.
And Bollywood Indian cinema has a lot of conventional commercial movies. For an actor like you who's unconventional,
Right.
do you have a hard time being in those movies? Or I don't know if you've done any of those movies, but if you
I've
did,
done. I've done. So look, I've been part of very few, those mainstream films,
how was the
which,
experience?
um, sometime I've done those films only to favor few of the directors and friends who requested me to do those roles. No, the experience. Yeah, my relationship with other actors have always been great, because I come from an you know respect place. Okay, I uh, when I'm on the set, I try to be friendly with everyone. I try to look at their positive, because I'm going to work with them. Okay,
Hmm.
and it's not their fault if the industry runs this way.
Right.
Okay, it's not, because industry has created this system where uh, even if a bad film becomes a blockbuster, uh, that all those people become big stars, right? So we are box office driven industry. If we don't look at the quality of the film, we look at the number of uh, how much it has made on the box office. If it has made a lot of money, then it gets respect. And if it is a very good film, a great acting, great script, great direction, and if it doesn't manage to get the audience inside the theater, it will be forgotten. Nobody will care about it. So that's how this industry has been. But now things have been changing. There is one industry which is purely mainstream. There is another industry that I'm part of,
Yeah.
which is mainly content driven and story driven and quality driven industry.
A lot has changed since, from the 90s to 2000s to now. In the movie Gulmohar, there's a lot. It's just not about family dynamics. There's also kind of this clash between what was in the past and what is now. For example, your character wants the family to be close, but your son wants to move out and live his own life. And there's like a clash of like how you see family. And I wanted to know how you feel about the family dynamics of today in our modern times and how that's changed from what it was before, where families used to live together and, be together and survive together.
But why people are relating to so many things in Gulmohar? Because everyone has gone through that phase of leaving the family.
Yeah.
Okay, and big family, and then the lands got divided. If lands got divided, everyone got very little land, and that was not sufficient to support the life of that family, and that family moved to some other city. Okay, and so joint family that I've been part of uh, in my childhood, I have seen it happening, bit by bit. First the lands were divided, then my father got very little land. He had 6 children. Those 6 children could not even think of staying in the village, because they knew that that much land will never be sufficient for them to lead a life with. So all of them, including me, left our villages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and went into separate directions, and they and now they found their own house in those apartments in Delhi, and me in Bombay. And uh, so that house that used to be such a big house, where so many members of the family were living together, so we've seen it really scattering,
Yeah.
bit by bit. uh, and that's so inevitable. This will happen, because eventually, now if you're living in a city like Delhi, the bungalows are giving way to big buildings. We- uh, because that bungalow, that land has become so expensive that everyone is interested in getting money from that than to live together.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay. So this is that is why Gulmohar has been so successful in this country. It is, and that is why it's touching people. That is why people are crying while watching the film. Okay, because everyone has seen it. Everyone has gone through a few of those emotions, uh, few of those moments in their own life.
Yeah.
And will I be uncomfortable if my daughter lives? Yes, definitely. I'll be uncomfortable, but not as uncomfortable and as miserable I'll feel as Arun Batra. He's actually
Mhm.
someone who is torn. Um, he's stuck between the the idea of freedom of his own mother and idea of freedom of his own son.
Right.
He wants to, but where he is going wrong, and that becomes a cause of for his suffering, is that he wants everyone to be together. He because he loves all of them, because he cannot think of anyone living anywhere else. So that becomes the reason for his anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
That becomes a reason for his own self, when he can't even cross the road to really understand the other person's point of view at dhaba. Okay, so Gulmohar on many levels is so relevant to each and every family, each and everyone who comes from a big family. My daughter goes away. I know it's inevitable. It will happen. Right now,
Hmm.
she's in a boarding. She is not here for 5 days, but she comes back on the weekend. But from next year, she is going to come back only once in a month. I think this is also a practice that she's getting to stay away from us, and we are also getting used to it. She has to, because she has to fly. She has to and decide for her own self.
It was a very good movie. I loved it. My wife loved it. My last question would be, now that you've established yourself and you're on your spiritual journey and you're in a moment in your life where anything is possible now, do you have any goals for the next rest of your life in your movie careers? Maybe directing, maybe going to Hollywood, maybe try something different. I don't know. You tell me.
I have managed an agent in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love to see you
so
in Hollywood.
yeah, so if a good film happens, definitely I'm there to take it up, because that's the whole purpose of being an actor. You're always looking for great films and great projects to be part of. Uh, uh, my If you ask me what I want to do, I want to
Yes.
retire in the mountains. I want to retire in the mountains. I'm going to construct a house very soon, a premise where I'll be surrounded with students learning acting and meditation. Okay,
Really?
yeah, this is what I want to do in my last phase of my life.
Wow, that's a big extreme, but I would love to
No,
see you
but
do that.
I would convert it. I would definitely convert it if the bigger force is with me.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on that journey. And this was such
Thank
a
you.
thank you so much. Anything you want to ask? Any questions or
Okay, no,
you're
just
good? No?
I'm saying hi to everyone first of all
Yeah.
in Canada, and my all my friends in Toronto, uh, and my brother there.
Your
My
brother lives in Toronto.
He lives in Toronto. Now, what my mama's son? He's very close to me,
Wow.
very
So
close to
you
me.
come here often then?
So this year, I think there is a chance of me coming to your city. Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I'll try to catch you there for a cup of coffee.
sure. No pressure, no rush. I'm sure you're very busy.
It was
Okay.
great. As in, 1 hour is gone. I didn't even realize. I mean, that's the power of a great conversation,
It's
right?
all you. All right.
Thank you. My
Thank
love
you.
to your family and to your little one.